in normal circumstances, 11th of February, supposed to be a day of lamentation, a day of mourning in Cameroon, a day that everyone in Cameroon supposed to have a very troubled and sad heart. Because this day, 11th of February, is the day that all the trouble we are having today in Cameroon started. This very day, February 11, is the day our brothers and sisters in British Northern Cameroon voted to join Nigeria. And today they are in Nigeria. They form part of Nigeria. This is the very day that what we are having today, the calamity, the killing, the destruction of property in Southern Cameroon started. On the 11th of February. On the 11th of February, 1961, the United Nations organization conducted a plebiscite in British Cameroon, in which, out of their selfish interest, with the influence of the British, divided the election into two. Because when you look at that statistic, if all of them could have voted as one, British Northern Cameroon and British Southern Cameroon, all of them, British Northern and British Southern Cameroon, could have joined Cameroon without any part. But British were aware of this and decided that they will have part of Cameroon by any means. And they influenced the United Nations organization to conduct two different plebiscites in British Cameroon. One called British Northern Cameroon and one called British Southern Cameroon. And in British Northern Cameroon on the 11th of February 1961, 63 years today, they voted, a majority of them voted with the influence of the Nigerians, in which many people say there was electoral fraud, that many Nigerians voted in order to influence the vote. And today, British Northern Cameroon form part of Nigeria. That is not our problem today. But what I'm saying is, the whole trouble, it started on the 11th of February. On the 11th of February. And it should not be a day that we have to be celebrating or changing the President Amadou Ahidjo and President Paul Biya with John Go-Foncha and many others in Southern Cameroon change the whole issue and name it Youth Day. This day is supposed to be a day of lamentation in all Cameroon. And that is what I'm coming up. British Southern Cameroon voted also on this very day. And they voted to join French Cameroon in order to have their independence. And all the trouble we are having today started on this particular day. It started on this particular day. And it should not be a day that we have to be celebrated. It should be a day that we have to sit up and say what kind of mistake we created. And what can we do in order to solve this particular problem? How are we with our brothers and sisters who voted to join Nigeria? And on the 1st of June, they were officially declared as part of Nigeria. And on that event, President Amadou Ahidjo by then declared June 1st a day of national mourning every year in Cameroon. Up to the point where President Paul Biya got up and decided not to continue with the National Day of Mourning. And today, here we are in Cameroon. Where we are, here we are in Cameroon with another trouble that we were not expecting, called the Anglophone crisis or the Ambazonia crisis. Because of this particular day, February 11, where our forefathers voted to join their brother French Cameroon. And all the trouble started there. And with the poor mentality, the mentality filled with a colonization, the French Cameroon decided to manipulate, marginalize, maltreat, and oppress the people of Southern Cameroon up to the point where they started thinking of separation. And then I'm asking the United Nations and the British, why did they allow the British Cameroon to achieve independence by joining others? They were not the only trusteeship territory. There were many trusteeship territories in Africa and other parts of the world. All of them gained their independence and becomes an independence country. Only British Cameroon was given the option or the choice to achieve independence by joining others, Nigeria or Cameroon. And then I'm still ending this video by asking the particular question to the United Nations, whether whether any part of British Cameroon was part of Nigeria when they took over from the Germans. No part of British Cameroon was part of Nigeria. They were all German Cameroon. And then when, instead for you to hand over to the person you took over from, you decided out of selfishness to hand it over as a part of a territory that you'll be controlling after colonization. And this is our trouble today. 11th of February is not a day of celebration. It is a day that all Cameroonians are supposed to put on sackcloth, cry for all the trouble, and the more than 8,000 people killed in Southern Cameroon all started on this day. All started on this day. If British Cameroon could have been given the chance to have their own independence, this trouble wouldn't have been. Our brothers and sisters who are in Nigeria and crying today about the terrible things going on in Nigeria would have been there. They could have been formed a country on their own. Our brothers today who are crying because of the marginalization and the maltreatment coming from French Cameroon, it wouldn't have been. They could have been managing their own problem by themselves. Why this? And why are we celebrating it? I don't know.